Now that we've learned the line and the circle command, let's go ahead and create a part using those, and we'll learn also how to dimension that part and put it all together. So to get started, let's just start a sketch. I'm going to choose the top plane. We're going to make a little bolt link in this part. So it's going to start off with a center line. So we just want to tie everything to the origin. So I'm just going to start a line here, snap it across here, and then I just want to make sure it's centered on the origin. So I'm going to select the origin, hold down Control, select the line, and I'm going to say I want this to be a midpoint. We'll grab the circle command, which we already learned, center point circle. I'm just going to snap to the end point here, click once, drag it out, click again. Same thing down here, click on the point, drag out, click again. Now these are not the exact same size, so let's go ahead and add a relationship, which we just learned about. So let's click on the top circle, hold down Control, select the other circle, and let's say these are equal. Now we're going to make the outside of the link. So that's going to be made up of 2 more circles and 2 lines. So I'm going to grab that circle again, click on the endpoint, drag it out, and do the same thing down here. Click on the center point, drag it out. Same thing, let's make these both equal. Now use a couple lines to connect these 2 together. I'm going to snap to that quadrant here, drag a line down here to the quadrant here, hit escape, ends that line segment, grab that line again, up here, grab that quadrant, drag down to here to this next quadrant, and end. Now we can get out of that line command by either hitting escape or double clicking. One thing we haven't covered yet, but we will in the next chapter, I'm going to give you a preview of, is the trim command. Now the trim command is just going to allow us to trim out these extra parts of the circle that we don't want. So I'm going to grab the trim, and I'm just going to trim out through these, through these, through these, and through those. So now we have what we call as the link. And notice I can drag this around to change size, move these in and out of here. Notice there's no dimensions though. So now we're going to learn about dimensioning a part. My hole to hole center here should be 4 inches. So I'm going to add the dimension. Click on the Smart Dimension tab. Come over here. Our cursor turns into a dimensioning icon. Now I can grab that line, drag it out, and click again where I want to place that dimension at. Click here. Notice it gives me the name of the dimension automatically and then the length. If I want to change that, I can change it here. Length. And notice now it says the length at sketch 1. Now I could make that anything I really wanted to and just keep something that's descriptive. Type in 4.0 here in this box. Click on a green check mark, says accepting that dimension. And now it modifies the size and shape of that and gives us that 4-inch dimension. I can drag this around just by clicking it and dragging it. And that's tied together now. I can still move the other parts of this, but I can't change that length. A couple more dimensions we want to add. So go back up here, grab the Smart Dimension tool. We can either click on the radius here or the distance from here to here. So let's just do that. So I'm going to click on the first item. Notice it gives you the 4. And then drag over here and select the second item we want to dimension to, which now gives a dimension between those 2 items. Over here, I'm going to say 2.0. That brings that in a little bit. And now these circles need to be adjusted. I can always drag these in and out to get them close to the right size. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a dimension there. So I'm just going to click on that circle anywhere on the diameter of it. Drag out a dimension. Just click wherever I want to place that dimension. And I'm just going to say 0.75. Notice the lines have been changing color. When we first had the lines drawn, they were all blue, which means they're underdefined or undefined sketches. As they turn black, that means they're fully defined. So notice all the lines in the sketch are now black. That means they're fully defined. They know exactly where they are. And I can click on any one of these things and try to drag it around. Nothing's going to move. It's fully defined sketch. Now, if I were to cause a problem, for instance, I went up here and I added additional dimension, it says, do we want to leave this driving? So I'm going to say yes. Notice what it does to our sketch. It says, turns it all yellow and says we have conflicts. The whole sketch is conflicting here because I'm defining it twice. I'm saying down here, it's 2 inches across, and then I'm saying up here the radius is 1 inch. So SOLIDWORKS actually doesn't know which one to use. So it says these 2 conflict, and it highlights everything in yellow that's causing a problem. Notice the 2 circles in here are still black. They're not in violation. So I can either delete this or I can delete this. Either one of them will solve the problem. It's fully defined and it's back. Now if you do something that turns everything red, which is a major violation, means that not only is it a conflicting dimension, but it's also actually causing the sketch to fail. That's when you're really in trouble. And the same thing happens is it's going to highlight all the items in red who might be causing the trouble. You just need to delete or change those items to get back to a state of having a fully defined sketch in black. The next step here is to turn that into a 3D part, and we're just going to skip ahead and give a preview of the extrude command. I'm going to drag this out a little bit. We're going to make it a 1/2 inch thick. Just type in 0.5 over here. Click on OK. This movie combined the line, circle, and centerline commands. We also learned and used relationships together to create a usable part. We also got a first look at the trim and extrude commands. Dimensioning is very important in SOLIDWORKS, and make sure to fully define your sketches with no blue lines, no yellow lines, and definitely no red lines. Now we have a complete part, and this part will be used later in the course.